are possible questions. I will reserve the right to include questions that are not on this list, but I won't only include questions that are on this list. You'll have some that are from this list. Okay. So be prepared to provide 2 to 3 examples of how a running theme from the class list. Running theme from the class. We didn't make a class list, but you have your list that you can fill out if you want to. Was seen in different periods of social welfare policy history, and why that theme is important to social welfare policy. Okay, so what are some of the running themes we talked about in class about social welfare policy and about poverty? How would you answer this question? Yes.
I think one of them would be like, whose fault is it that poverty exists? Like, is it like moral failing versus economic failing?
Yep, definitely. And how does that relate to social welfare policy?
I think it's kind of like a waxing and waning of whether or not benefits are going to be given, like direct benefits versus like, I don't know, I'm out of words.
Yeah. No, that's right. So if poverty is viewed as a moral failing, benefits are less likely to be generous, right?
Right.
So for example, if policy, yeah, sorry.
I was going to ask about the structure of the question,
Okay. So for example, the Gilded Age, poverty is a moral failure, right? And so what kind of social welfare is there? Well, there's charity organization societies that just come and teach you how to be a better moral being, but don't provide you with cash, right?
Are we providing 2 to 3 themes or 2 to 3 examples from history that represent the same theme?
Okay, fair point, fair point. Yes, so the idea is to provide, pick a theme and provide how that theme recurs 2 to 3 times during history. Yes. Others want to have a question about this question or have something they want to pitch that could be a good answer? Okay. So how does the prevailing perception of poverty, its cause, who is at fault, during a time period affect social welfare benefits? Please explain and provide 3 examples from different periods of history. That's kind of the same question. So we just did charity organization societies. Anyone have any others of a time period where how poverty is perceived and how what that meant for benefits? Yeah.
Well, New Deal and economy being responsible for poverty, so direct benefits are given like food stamps and all that.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. So the economy crashes, the Great Depression. It's no longer your fault that you're poor because everyone is poor. And so there's this huge public works and direct cash transfers, welfare programs that get instituted. Right? So everyone can become deserving poor. Okay, how did the settlement house movement provide a foundation for modern evidence-based social work practice? Please explain and provide 2 specific examples of how settlement house practice influenced modern social work practice. Okay, so what do we know about settlement houses? Or if you want to answer this question, that's fine too.
Was this the first time that social workers were employed by the government?
So settlement houses was less focused on employment by the government. It had the second focus that was new in this time period.
Wouldn't it be like so kind of along that like influence in the government? So like this was the first time that like social workers were attempting to change policy.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Yes. So yes, exactly along those lines, right? But interaction with government is the key here, right? So settlement houses. So settlement houses were unique because it was the rich ladies moved into the poor neighborhoods and lived among the poor rather than just visiting, rather than being friendly visiting, right? They had a 2-fold mission to alleviate individual level poverty, both through like providing cash, but also through seminars, providing daycares and kindergartens, job training, right? Kind of your modern community center in some ways. So living among the poor, providing wraparound services, and advocating for social change at a large scale and policy level at the same time, right? It's similar to the charity organization societies in that they both had a religious bent, right? Both of these perspectives were drawn from kind of religious origins. So how did Settlement House movement provide the foundation for modern evidence-based social work? So what was it about settlement houses that was focused on the scientific method? So settlement houses, as the charity movement before it eventually came to be, focused on scientifically tracking how people were doing over time once they get services, right? So they wanted to focus on not just providing cash or providing daycare, but how that affected people's lives, and whether they helped to lift them out of poverty. So it's evidence-based, and they wanted to see the effectiveness of their interventions. It also, to some extent, at the end, started to follow the casework method in some ways, right?
For the evidence base, could you just put that all under the umbrella of longitudinal studies?
Yep, that works. Okay. Why didn't the United States develop a permanent, comprehensive federal social welfare system? Please provide at least 3 reasons and explain how they prevented development of such a system. So this is all on one slide from early in the semester. Everybody remember this stuff? So we talked about, I don't remember all 3 actually. No, I think I will. The first, yeah.
Oh, I wasn't, because of like, there was an argument on morally who was responsible to provide social welfare.
Yes, and that's connected to this, to 3 kind of larger concepts. So you're right, it's a subcategory within these 3 larger ones. So the first one we talked about was diversity. That the US is a very diverse country, which paradoxically perhaps makes it hard to get widespread approval for social welfare policies, because there are always in and out groups, right? So in Sweden, everyone looks the same, has the same background, is probably related to one another, and so there's very little stigma associated with social welfare because everyone gets it, right? Everyone's the same, not everyone's the same exactly, but everyone is fairly homogenous society, right? But in the US, we're a very diverse society, and this actually ends up posing a problem for government providing social welfare, because there are in-groups and out-groups that are competing for or feel that others don't deserve to receive benefits. Does that make sense? The next, I think what you're referencing is the kind of the American dream, the Western frontier, the land of opportunity concept, right? That this is America, the land of opportunity. If you just try hard enough, you can make it. And government shouldn't provide you with social welfare, because if you haven't made it, it's because there's something wrong with you, right? And the third is that we have a very, compared to other European and Western European countries, we have a very weak federal system, right? States have a lot of power in the US, and so it's difficult to create federal level social welfare programs, because states have so much power over what kind of policies get enacted and how far the federal government can reach into states. Any thoughts about those 3? Does that make sense? Okay. So if you catch this question, you'll know exactly how to answer it. Should be great. Good to ask for 3 examples, and I gave you 3. That's perfect. It is all on the slide from class. This comes directly from the slide. Okay. What are 2 lasting effects of the English Poor Law of 1601 that we see in modern social welfare policy? Describe and explain how each is related to the Poor Law.
Deserving for, so like who was eligible for benefits, and that kind of still, you see it's almost those exact same themes in current welfare. I don't know.
Yeah.
Distribution's the wrong word, but
Yes.
distribution.
Yes, exactly. Yep, totally. That's a great one. Yeah. Others?
It was like the first time the government intervened to make social welfare policy,
Uh-huh.
and then it like did that through taxation.
Yes, taxation's a huge one, right? Government taking on responsibility for poor relief, and eventually, as a result of the poor law, doing that through taxation, right? Raising funds through compulsory taxes to provide for the poor, which is great. Any others? Okay. So in a question like this, it'll be important to identify those two things from history, but also clearly apply them to modern social welfare policy, like how they relate is the key distinction, right? So if you just put the 1601 Poor Law was the first time government intervened, created social policies for poor people, I can't give you credit because you haven't said how it applies, how we see it in modern social welfare policy, right? You see that connection? I mean, I can give you partial credit, not the full credit. Okay. Wars tend to serve as turning points for social welfare policies and services. How did the emerging profession of social work change following the Civil War, World War I, and World War II? And why did these changes occur? Okay, so why don't we start with World War II? That's the easiest one. So how did World War II serve as a turning point for social welfare policies and services? And for the emerging profession of social work. So I am going to have an example questions about how changing perceptions of poverty and social work itself influence social work as a field, right, as a profession. So make sure to think about that stuff as you study also, not just like what is 10 minutes. So what about the World War II question, anyone?
World War II, like we had more veterans benefits post World War II, and then we still had like Freud's psychoanalytic that started more World War I, really took full swing in the realm of social work post World War II.
Yep, exactly. So post World War II, thank you. Yeah, post World War II, we see social work turning. We have rising affluence in the United States. Social work as a profession starts to lean away from advocacy and social justice and more towards psychoanalysis and clinical practice, right? Yeah. So that's one example, yeah. So similar stories for World War I and the Civil War. I'll let you guys put those ones up because I'm actually going to tell you the exact word for all of them. Okay. Okay, what is privatization? Please define the term and provide 2 examples of how it was seen in social welfare policy. I'm not going to ask you this one because I don't like it. Yeah, I think the privatization is it's good to have and know about, but I don't think it's like a driving force in social welfare. Okay, is that all the ones I listed? Okay, good. So don't be surprised to see other questions that are more closely tied to actual social welfare policies. You can tell my interest personally is in more modern social welfare policy, so I will likely have questions on here, questions that are not on here about